Hey, good afternoon. This is Kelly Bailey with Bailey Rose and Company coming to you live from Monday Motivation. And I feel like this is so weird to me because I'm using my phone and it's sideways because I noticed that when you do it up, you get the sidebars, and now it's all funny because I'm like trying to look at myself, which means it looks like I'm not looking at the camera. So anyway, if you see my eyes going in different directions, then you know why. So today is Monday. Again, Monday motivation. I try to do it on Mondays. If not, you'll hear me call it weekly motivation, but today is Monday. Yay. Today's topic is, I decided after the live last week, which talked a little bit about one of the ways that I kind of tricked myself in when I decided that I needed to kind of move past what I call my postpartum depression, even though that he was over a year old when that happened, but hey, it lasted a while. I realized that there were like many parts of things that helped me kind of get through my days, and I didn't want to make the live too long. So I said, hey, let's go and make it into multiple parts. So this is part 2 of kind of coming out of the postpartum depression. I call it routines. So last time I talked about when the first step was for me to just get out of bed because that was the hardest. I was laying around a lot, so nothing was getting done, but I just couldn't even like motivate myself to get out of bed. And that's when I really thought through, and I had just seen a TED talk where someone had just named like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, what they call the 5-second rule. And that was just to help me, number one, get out of bed. Kind of the second part of that was, I was like so incredibly overwhelmed that I couldn't, like the thought of like getting anything done, let alone like the basic things done, was just too much to handle. So kind of my next step on like ticking off my list, saying, okay, like I was really like, let's just hit like the low hanging fruit, because quite honestly, it was so overwhelming to me. That's all I can say. If any one of you have gone through this, you kind of know what I mean, where it's like, moms, especially moms, I would say, and especially moms, for me, it was like with multiple kids, there was no way everything on my list was going to get done that day. And I am type A personality. And if all that stuff doesn't get done on my list and everything isn't organized and everything isn't clean, I break down. And so that was definitely happening to me. But my basics were, and a lot of moms, I'm sure, know this too, was like, oh, did I wear deodorant today? Did I wash my face today? Did I brush my teeth today? That was really where I was at, where I like couldn't even get myself, before when I was laying in bed, like the thought of just even washing my face, I was like every day, twice a day, but I was really upset with the way my skin was looking because I wasn't taking care of myself. And then I wasn't brushing my teeth, and then and these are all like basic things that I'm totally someone who does. It's just where I was. So my next step was really to create routines for myself. And this sounds like, it honestly sounds so silly, you guys, but if you've been there, you know what I mean. And it was like the basic things weren't getting done. So I was moving from getting up out of bed to, okay, how do I like function today? And one of the things that was making me feel just so terrible was the fact that I didn't know, like, I would say, oh, okay, let me just go do this other stuff. And then I would get caught up in that other stuff. And then I would realize it's 12 o'clock and I hadn't brushed my teeth, something like that. So I said, okay, let's like create this routine for myself. So I kind of thought through, and this didn't happen overnight, but that's why I share it with you. Like I thought through over a period of time, okay, what are the things that are like stressing me out even more? And there were like the little things, like the brushing the teeth, the washing the face, and I feel like it also, as you go through those changes, becoming mom, like, and you're tired and you just don't look your best, it's like getting to makeup is like a crazy step. Like that was like, whoa, to me. But there was part of me that wanted to get there. I just needed to get that other stuff done. So now I'm at the point where some days, I don't do a lot of makeup, but some days I can actually do it. Today is one of those days. So yeah. And then like making sure that I showered. So there were all these things. Now I'm the type of person, I was like, showering twice, again, before kids, right? Like you have all this time, like you don't even realize you have all this time. You're just like, oh, I'm taking a 45-minute shower and I'm shaving everything. And oh, I feel so great. That doesn't happen anymore. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just like, you don't even worry about being a slob. You're just like, oh my gosh, I can't even like get anything done. So I had to think through, like, how is my day going to be better? And the one thing was like dishes would start to overwhelm me. I wasn't even turning on the dishwasher every day. And so I didn't have the things that I needed to go throughout the day. Like I didn't have like bottles for the baby or whatever it was. It was just like that basic. So I said, okay, how am I going to do this? So for me, what worked in creating a routine, and again, I started off, and I'm going to just only talk about the basic portion of this routine at this point. The basics was, okay, the dishes need to be done every night, but let me like backtrack from that. And I was like, okay, for the dishes to be done, like what kind of time frame? Because I knew I had to put my kids to bed and I wanted to read to them, and we've got homework and all of the things, right? All the activities. So I was like, okay, so the dishes are going to be done after the kids go to bed, because if not, it threw off everything else where like they weren't going to bed on time because I was reading to them too late and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, that like made me realize, okay, so the dishes are going to be done after they go to bed, which meant they could get to bed on time, which means I could get the dishes done early enough to maybe like actually do something at night. So that kind of like left me, okay, I can do this every night. But the one thing that was stopping me from getting the dishes done every night, I realized, was that I didn't have them packed away in the morning. And I didn't have, and I also felt like, I know you guys, I'm sure feel like this, you're doing dishes all day long. Like this is just one little thing, but it sounds like nothing, but this is how overwhelmed I was. It was like a step process for me. So I was like, okay, if I actually wake up in the morning and put the dishes away, then I can get them done at night in less time. And I don't have dishes all over the place. So that was like one step for me. So I was like, okay, so now I know that in the morning I have to get dishes done, so that I can get them done at night. And then there were, I mean, you guys, even as I say this out loud, I'm like, oh my gosh, but it is funny. And it's just like the simple things. So then I said, okay, now I need to do the dishes in the morning. And I was forcing myself to wake up in the morning at an appropriate time so that I can get that stuff done. And then I started adding things in, like, okay, right when I wake up in the morning, before I go downstairs and get coffee and get comfortable and start doing the dishes and then get caught up in like throwing in laundry and then you just forget what you're doing. I was like, nope, I'm not leaving that room with my bathroom. I'm not leaving that room until my teeth are brushed, until my face is washed, until I've like gotten myself together before I walk down the stairs. Because then at least if I get caught up in doing something, like that one step is done. It was like throwing off my whole day. And again, I have to, this is not like something where you just decide it and you're like, oh great. It's just like anything. It's an everyday thing that I have to like force myself to do. So force myself to get out of bed, force myself to do the stuff that was like overwhelming to me. And I also realized that if I do like one load of laundry a day that I throw in the morning, that was like saving me the trouble of like all this laundry that got piled up. And then again, you got to the overwhelming point. So now in that morning routine, when I do all that stuff, I come downstairs, I take the dishes out of the dishwasher, I pack them away, I pack away whatever was left. Then I was like, okay, now I'm going to throw in a load of laundry. And that's what I do. So I throw in a load of laundry. And then at some point that morning, like I have a lot of stuff that I hang dry, I take it out, I hang dry, I put stuff in the dryer, but I don't even touch what's in the dryer until that night when I know I can fold it. I'm still getting better at like putting it away, because right now sometimes it ends up on my dining room table, but that's like my next step. I'm like, okay, when you fold it, you pack it away. And the other thing with the, I just thought of something in the dishes and it escaped my mind. So again, it was just like this little routine that started getting me. And again, it sounds like the funniest thing, but when you're at that deepest, darkest point, like even those little things seem so hard. And so for you to be able to say, okay, and that's really where I started, you guys. It was that just the littlest thing, force myself to get out of bed and try to figure out things. Oh, that's what it was about the dishes, the things that like make your day easier. So I was like doing dishes all day long. I stopped doing that. I have a wonderful, like we just redid our kitchen when I was pregnant with the baby, because that's always a good way to do it. Add to it. But I have this beautiful big farm sink and I'm like, oh, look at this. Like if I did that in the morning and I just put the stuff in the sink, then at night I just do one thing of dishes. Now for some people that might drive them crazy, and it probably would have driven the old me crazy, but now it doesn't, because I know that like I've made my day easier. So all the dishes, like I'm not like there's dishes all over the counter and it's driving me crazy. It's in the sink. And then once at night I do the dishes. So that's that part of that routine. And then from there, like I slowly started adding other things in, but I wanted to start with that small step. So if anyone is going through anything similar to what I went through or felt like they can't get through their day, start with the little things, you guys. Once you can get out of bed, then start with the little things that can like help you feel better about your day. So for me, it was just cleaning myself up and making me look like a little bit presentable. And I'll go through again, like I'll keep this as a short one and go through more of the stuff that helped me along the way. But for me, that was like that really little thing, which was, let's just get these basics done before I walk out of the room, before I get caught up in doing something else. And then I focused on not trying to do these things all throughout the day so I could do the other things that I wanted to do. And then I had a time frame at night where I knew that I was going to get those dishes done to make, again, my next day easier. Sometimes I'm really tired and I don't want to do it, but I really truly think to myself, okay, tomorrow is actually going to be harder if I don't just spend 5 minutes right now and get this done. And sometimes just thinking about it that way, when, hey, I'm making my day tomorrow easier, almost makes you like not resented it much, you know, like I mean, I'm not a big fan of doing dishes, but it really makes you feel like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad because I'm helping myself. If you can get your husband to do them or your kids to do them, I'm working on that right now, then more power to you. But for the most part, it was me. My oldest one is starting to be able to, and I'm having her start to like learn to unload the dishwasher and do chores, and I highly suggest doing that. So that was it, guys, for the Monday motivation, is like create a little routine, and that's like basic portion of the routine, and I'll finish off more of the routine stuff next week. If anyone has any questions, let me know, but so nice talking with you. I will see you next week. Bye.